One of the biggest problems I have right now is just getting this goddamn belt grinder out of the shed up in a normal working height to be able to work comfortably with it. It makes it so hard for me to start a project, so I made this one just to make it easier for me to get going. Something I always think about when I start a new project is to keep the cost down, as I had this scrap piece of metal just laying around. It's a tiny bit too small, but I just thought if I could cut it in half and weld those pieces together, it should be strong enough to keep up my belt grinder. And now after thinking about it, everything for this project was actually scrap metal, except for the wheels and maybe some bolts. So using some welder math, that's basically free. I also just want to point out that I'm actually not a welder, I'm a chef, and I have clearly no idea what I'm doing right now. But I'm trying to V the groove that the weld is going to sit in to get a more penetration and a more full weld. It's probably not exactly right, but I've never done this before, and I watched a bit of YouTube tutorials trying to find the best way I could do it. But I must say, for being my 4th or 5th welding project, I think I'm doing pretty good. It is pretty amazing what you can learn just watching YouTube. I learned completely how to weld by just watching YouTube videos. But if you have any tips or tricks how to make it better or easier, comment them below. Something I'm always aiming for with the videos I create is to inspire you guys to start creating. It's easy to just sit at home and watching these videos and thinking, oh, I don't have the skill levels to do what he does. But it's pretty easy. Just look at me. I taught myself how to weld off YouTube. Of course, it's not the best, but it works. Now when the platform and the base finished, I'm just measuring out where the wheel should go. And afterwards I just taking this drill bit and a hammer to just make a center punch so it's easier for me to drill the holes. Something I always wonder when I do in metalwork, is it really this hard to drill through steel? Am I doing something wrong? Am I using the wrong kind of tools? It took me about 2 minutes to drill each of these holes, and I think it's crazy. It takes way too much time, and if you guys have a tip on how you can drill them faster or better, please comment them below. After getting the wheels mounted, I'm flipping them over and I'm cutting off the bolts to make them as flush as possible. I am 100% sure that you're not supposed to cut bolts like this, but it made it quick and easy, and it worked for me. And if you would stop about this far in the project, you would have a skateboard. It's not a very functional skateboard, but it kinda works. Well, enough fun with the skateboard. Now it's time to cut the pillar. For you guys that hasn't noticed, I'm extremely tall. So I'm actually making it about 90 centimeters long, aka high. But if you would do something similar, you probably aim about 60 to 70 meters high. But to ensure a straight cut, I mark all the sides just to ensure that I'm getting a straight and even cut. You know what they say? Measure twice, cut once. After having the pillar cut, I just grind all the surfaces to make them smooth and nice, so we get a nice and clean weld. And here comes the most important part, mounting the pillar. It's extremely important that you make sure that it comes on straight. I just start by tacking one side, measuring that it's straight with an angle iron. Because if you have the smallest amount, it might not look like a lot, but it will make it super crooked if you're not careful. And now it's time to make the base plate for the belt grinder. I use the same material as I use for the base plate, and I just use the belt grinder itself as I'm measuring out how big the plate should be, and to mark out where I should drill the holes. It's really similar to just building the bottom plate. One thing I did different from the other piece is that I actually chamfered the corners. So I draw out a small outline and I try to keep it as close to that as possible. And now it's time to just drill the holes. And I'm asking you guys again, does it take this long to drill fucking holes? And now it's basically time to doing exactly the same as you did with the bottom plate, but for the top plate. And once again, make sure to get this one straight. It's super hard if you get it on crooked, it will multiply and multiply, and you will get it way crooked. A secret that I didn't record is that I actually had to cut it off, just to get it back on straight, because it was way too crooked in the beginning. And now the base is basically finished. If I can give you one reminder, is to remember that steel that you welded is pretty hot, so don't burn yourself. And now pretty much everything that's left is getting the belt grinder mounted. And there you have the belt grinder base basically finished. If you want, you can have a VFD mount, but I don't really have the materials for that right now, so I will do that later. But I hope you enjoyed the video. Like and comment if you liked it. And keep your eyes open for the next video where I'm making some hand-forged Damascus.